So I thought what today we do is a little bit of orchard update. And if you remember, in the late spring last year, we planted approximately 50 trees, 20 citrus and 30 other types of fruit. And since that time, we've done what we could to take care of them. It was a little bit rough because it was a very late planting and the summer was brutal. It was 100 degrees, 110 degrees. And then just this winter, we had some frosts. So these trees have been treated pretty roughly. But despite our best efforts to kill them, a number of them have survived. Probably about, I would say 35 to 40 of the trees have survived. We also have some what we call volunteer trees, a walnut that grew by itself, which is great. That walnut tree will probably live for 100, 200 years because it's just naturally finds itself in a perfect growing conditions. But we just took a class at UC Davis on tree management. Here's a couple of video clips from the class. So the class was super interesting. It taught me a lot about tree maintenance, soil condition management, all that sort of thing. One of the things that surprised me the most was about how much you had to prune the trees. And it seems like a lot, but we're gonna go ahead and do as they suggest. You gotta create a nice little scaffold for the tree to develop, and that way you can pick the fruit at a reasonable level, keeps tree healthy and the fruit close to the ground, which is really what our goal is. Also, we noticed that the trees had started getting some marks on them, and they think that it was, I thought at first it was a canker, which is bad. Just like a canker that you get in your mouth, you don't want it on your tree. But it turns out it looks like maybe more of a sunburn. So the solution to that is painting the tree white. So first things first, let's go ahead and we'll trim some of these trees back, and it's gonna be pretty brutal. And I don't want you to be afraid when I do it because I think I'm doing the right thing, and I guess we'll find out come springtime if they bloom or not, or they turn brown and fall over dead. So anyway, let's go ahead and let's get started with the pruning. All right, so for pruning, we got a couple things here. We've got our pruning shears, we've got our little tiny baby pruning shears, and we got our first tree. So the idea here with this tree is that we want to create what's called a scaffold. So we want the 3 or 4 lowest healthy branches to remain, and the rest of it, believe it or not, the rest of it gets hacked off. I know, I'm a little startled myself that I'm going to be doing this because look at that gorgeous tree, how much it's grown. But anyhow, that's the way you got to do it if you want to do it right. So let's go ahead and let's get cutting. So right in here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are 4 good looking branches. So we want to make our first cut right here, and we're going to lop the whole top off. So we go ahead and lop the top off. Boom, there you go. And then we just toss it in the middle of the field there, or the middle of the row, where we'll run over it later with the flail mower. And that way it puts it right back into the soil. So man, I'm having trouble doing this. Okay, well, just do it. That's it. There she goes. So that we'll just toss the, oops. If I want to just take that, just throw it down there. I know, weird, huh? And then we're gonna want to prune. It'll give us new shoots. I think I'm doing this right. We also want to cut off this stimulates new growth by cutting this off. Just do it. Don't be sentimental. Off it comes. All right. So now you can see our tree looks much different. Now there also is the little water chute on here. We want to take this, look under here, this water chute. These should come off. These little water shoots should come off as soon as they start growing. I kind of liked how it looked because it made the tree look a little bigger, but you want to get rid of them. So cut them off low as you can. you guys aren't going to believe this, but we came to the hardware store to look for some paint, some tree paint. Normally it'd be in little gallon buckets around here, but I didn't see any at all. So I turned around and saw that they have 5-gallon buckets of tree paint. And what this is it's I went in and I checked. Basically it's 5 gallons of interior latex paint that was seconds and the wrong tint, so they mixed them all together and they're selling them as tree paint, which is exactly what we need. So we're gonna go ahead and pick up a 5-gallon bucket of this. If you're gonna buy something like this, make sure they shake it. They just shook these about half an hour ago, so we're good to go. Also, this one is blue. It's the only one here that has some exterior paint mixed in with it. And I don't know if exterior paint is bad. I was told to only use interior paint on trees. So the paint that we ended up buying right here is, I went in and checked and they said it's only interior paint. So anyway, goodbye. All right, there's the trees, here's the paint. Let's go ahead and grab a brush here, I guess the big one. Why not? All right, get the big old brush. So let's get to painting. Now the white paint will protect it from the ultraviolet, supposedly. So let's see what happens. Should have brought a little bucket to put some paint in instead of hauling this big one around, but that's the way it goes. So as you can see, we got most of the trees painted white today. They seem to be doing okay. You know, some of them, there's a couple that were clearly dead, some of the cherry trees. A lot of the citrus died, or not died, but they took a beating when the frost was here last week. So we're gonna have to see how those do once the springtime comes. Some of the cherry trees died, but cherry trees are notoriously difficult to grow around here. Still, cherries are very tasty, so we're gonna keep trying. Okay, thanks for watching. We'll be back shortly with an update for you.